Yeah.
Sideburns.
What's the word? Tell me what you heard. That info that we kicking, it be louder than some herb. Word, information, no telepathico. We gon' have to elevate your mind where you wanna go. Kiss Calhoun in the mix. Sideburns dropping all the beats, it's a hit. It's a podcast you don't really wanna miss. So sit back, relax, let's talk for a bit. What's the word? Spitting out the game that you need. What's the word? Make it say yes indeed. What's the word? Something that you wouldn't believe. What's the word? The word is for you to receive. What's the word? 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 I say tune in live, cause we up in the mix, and you know we have some topics that we have to reach. What's the word? 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 I say tune in live, cause we up in the mix, and we have a few topics that we have to reach. What's the word? 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 What's the word?
What up, everybody? This is your girl, Kiss Calhoun, and we're back for another episode of What's the Word? You heard me. And I'm being joined by the legendary, the one and only Mr. What? Mr. Who? Mr. D.Jon.
What's up, everybody? We are back for another week of What's the Word?
And of course, we're being joined by a special guest today, A to the T to the Mr. Anthony is in the building with us. Shout out.
What's going on, you guys?
So today we got a new episode. We got a good episode, juicy episode, because everybody been talking about him all week. And it's unfair for us not to close out this week without talking about him. So of course, we're going to talk about Mr. Jay-Z and his partnership with the NFL. Do you agree or disagree with his boss move? And you know, the icebreaker of them all. I'm going to start with name one artist that is an iconic figure in his or her community. Of course, we got the Messy T, Mr. Funk Master Flash said he got the receipts, baby. He got the receipts that say Jay-Z told Jermaine Dupri not to take the same deal he took. Of course, we got Big Sean, investing in a recording studio for boys and girls in Detroit. The NYPD just fired the officer involved in the Eric Garner shooting. Black excellence. Of course, we have the Google Doodle Challenge with the girl who won out of all the doodles, like 500,000 participants. Of course, we got the 2-part beef session going on with Rick Ross and Nicki Minaj. What's good? Nicki Minaj is going to talk about, she's going to talk about like she on the show. Nicki Minaj responds back to the infamous song with Rick Ross, Apple of My Eye, and Rick Ross responds back to the whole Apple of My Eye diss. So, without further ado, let's get it. Let's get it. Like Nicki would say, let's get it. So, who in my 401k do I believe is the most iconic figure in his or her community? It's so many, but I don't want to choose a celebrity that's already on and established. I have to say Super Scent from our hometown, New Orleans. She's very iconic as far as, people just seeing a person come from just her story in general, coming to see her from the floor all the way up, and to see that she got to $1 million on social media platform, using her social media platform. She's a every average, regular kind of chick, and to come up off of the social media and then brand this Crayola case, franchise. To me, she is an iconic figure in her own community. I mean, watching Judy and Super buy up property in the East, seeing them flourish in the East, and then later on seeing them do great things in life, both multi-millionaires at this point. I have to say, in my own hometown, who's an iconic figure, it would have to be her, because she an everyday street chick like me, and she came up off of something that we all could come up off. Who do y'all believe is y'all and y'all 401k, who do y'all believe is an iconic figure in his or her community?
Well, I feel like Jessica is also an iconic figure in the community because she's coming out with her own kids kaleidoscope hair products.
Oh, I forgot all about the hair care product. I mean, not the product, the coloring book.
Oh, Jessica.
Judy.
Yeah, Judy.
She got a coloring book coming out. She always did the whole hair and stuff thing. That's what she been known for years doing hair. But yeah, she owns Swilling Center in the East. She brought that from Pat Swilling. So they buying up property left or right. And it's just like to see two women do it is amazing.
Right.
Because we see men do it all the time. We see football players move to New Orleans and buy up property. That's who Pat Swilling is. He brought up property, was a Saint, played for the Saints and brought property up. And shit, the Bullard wouldn't be Bullard without Pat Swilling. And then Bullard wouldn't flourish without Super and Judy. D.Jon, who's your iconic in your 401k?
I mean, I don't really pay attention to a lot of people, but I would have to say Super. Just like you said, I feel like she's doing her thing. You know, she's making a positive impact, and she's just showing not just young women, but also young men that you can, make a name for yourself and go out there and, own your own businesses, do things for yourself, and not always have to work for people. So, I really respect her hustle.
Exactly. And not only that, I mean, she also put on a lot of her street friends, her street rapper friends, she put on, got them out of trouble-infested situations and put them on so they wouldn't have to be going back to jail. And you can say that a lot for a lot of people that think about the well-being of their friends keep going back and forth to jail. And she provided a way for her friends not to get back in trouble and stuff like that. So let's kick this off. Because you could talk about who is a more iconic all day. They have plenty of people that's iconic in their own right, of course. But let's just get this off our chest. What is our thoughts about the partnership that Jay-Z have with the whole NFL? Because a lot of people, I've been looking into it, and a lot of people is for it. A lot of celebrities are for it, but a lot of average, everyday people are like, hold up, wait a minute. And they got some celebrities that's like, hold up, wait a minute, like, what is coming from out of a sudden? So if you don't know already, of course, Jay-Z partnered up with the NFL to basically, as far as the halftime show is concerned from what I've been reading. So, D.Jon, you want to go ahead and read that little post right there about Jay-Z and Roc Nation partnership with the NFL?
So Jay-Z and Roc Nation just made a major money move, and the NFL gets to approve its images in the process. The NFL is reportedly forming a partnership with Jay-Z that will put him in charge of managing some entertainment options for the league, which will also tie into the sport's social justice efforts, the Washington Post reports. Thanks to this partnership, Roc Nation will reportedly co-produce the Super Bowl halftime show, meaning they will choose entertainers who will perform in the NFL content throughout the season. The deal does not contain a provision for Hove to be the halftime performer, but both Jay-Z and NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell said he was very quick to say that he does not want this to be about him performing, that it was broader than that. I'm sorry. Goodell said it quickly went beyond that. Do I hope he'll perform in the Super Bowl halftime in the next several years? Yes, but I think we'll all know if that time comes. He'll know it in particular. Jay is confident that the partnership will allow Roc Nation to have the freedom to produce the kind of entertainment that it wants. I think we have autonomy, said Jay-Z. I anticipate that there will be a lot of any big organization in this building right here. We have eternal problems. Anything that's new is going to go through its growing pain. We put what we want to do on the table. The NFL agreed to it, so we're going to proceed with that as if we have a partnership. As for the community activism portion of the partnership, that will be tied into the NFL's existing expired change program with its players. In other words, we're hoping Jay-Z can affect some real change with the NFL social justice issues.
So, what's y'all 401k on this whole thing?
I mean, I think it's a great look. I think it'll bring more viewership to halftime because we've had some good halftime performers, but I think now that you have him and Rock Nation in charge, and it's like they can actually sit down and look at what the people want rather than however they were basing it on, putting together the halftime shows, because it was always a hit and miss. To me, I didn't watch the one this year. Who performed at 18? Was it Lady?
No,
there wasn't Lady Gaga. She did 17.
What's his name? For Maroon 5. The guy from Maroon 5 performed.
I don't remember
the
18.
One with the one with he had took his shirt off and everything. He brought
That was 16.
He performed it was a white group, and it's a rock group, I think. It was a rock group. We gotta research.
Who they brought out?
He brought out I'm trying to see if he brought out did he bring out Outcast? I think no, he didn't do that. I don't remember because I didn't really watch.
But I mean, like I said, 15 was good. You had Katy Perry. 16, you had a collaboration. You had Beyonce, you had Bruno Mars, and you had the guys from what group was that? I think that was Maroon. Oh shit! It was a group, but then you had 17. You had Lady Gaga. 18, I don't exactly know. So it was kind of like a hit and miss. So I think what they're going to really look at is they're going to look at what the people want. Because most people, that's what we watch for. We watch for the commercials and we watch for the halftime show. As far as like the social injustice part, to me, I really think it comes at a good time, but I really think that they should have really sat down with Colin Kaepernick on this part. He was big on, having, change, like, within everything that was going on. So I feel like they should have brought him in with this to talk about, the players being able to voice their opinions on certain things and not have to feel like they can't talk about these things or act on these things that are happening, mainly of color, players of color.
Right.
So it's a good move, but I felt like Colin should also be put into this. That's what I see.
Right. Well, what's your 401k on this? A to the T, spell it.
Well, this is my opinion about the whole situation. I don't know too much about it, but I feel like it's a great opportunity for us with the society and for us getting everybody, for us the NFL, for us players, to have their voice their opinion about the halftime shows. Now you don't see too many celebrities in the industry that's doing things like that for the NFL. You have people that own teams, but they're not doing anything for that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it. I mean, but I gotta agree to disagree on this one, because my whole thing is that's a part of personal gain. You know what I'm saying? I get it that Jay-Z is the founding God that's supposed to speak for all of us, but he can't necessarily speak. It's like this. We either fall for things or we fall for anything. And I feel like this one right here, I don't care about the halftime show. I care about if players is trying to stand up for what they believe in. And they ain't I get it. A lot of people are saying like maybe this is a step forward for the the next wave of things. But to be honest with you, what do we gain from the football? Like, what do we gain as individual people from the football league? We don't benefit anything from it. They just bringing what Colin Kaepernick did was to just say basically, I'm gonna stop playing football or I'm gonna take a knee during football if our country don't get together. How we go from protesting and boycotting the NFL to now Jay-Z being the face of the halftime show or the coordinator of the halftime show, and now it's like, how I feel is like people are going to overlook the whole point of why we was, protesting. You know how black people are. Now that they see a black person like Jay-Z in, they just clueless to everything that we just was protesting about, including Jay-Z. I don't know his motives on why he wanted to do this, but all last year, Jermaine Dupri got offered the same thing, and he was the main one telling Jermaine Dupri not to take the deal, and then a year after you do the same thing. Like, what was that about? Like, you could have, I feel like as far as community-wise, like we always say, he doing it for the black community. He doing it for the black community. But if we didn't know anything about this and it just so happened, boom, Jay-Z gonna be the face. Like, how we didn't know nothing about this? You know what I'm saying? If it's for the community, if it's really to benefit social injustice by having him be coordinator of halftime shows. Yeah, everybody watched halftime shows, but that's only once every, we don't have halftime performances every football game. We just have it one Super Bowl. So my thing is,
you have teams that, they do halftime shows.
Right, but it's
like big games, but it's not recorded.
Right. So my thing is this, like, what's so different from Jermaine Dupri accepting the deal last year than him accepting it this year? To me,
I don't think we'll ever know the true motive behind that. I mean, I just look at it, and I know people, are gonna say their stuff about it, and I get it. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but I just feel like, we all go through these thoughts where we don't think the same that we thought, not even a year ago, but 3 months ago, because I know I don't have the same thought process that I had 3 months ago, hell, even a year ago. So my thing is, it's just different. I guess we have to look at it in a business standpoint. When you're a business person and you're going to another business person, I don't know what the interaction was or who came to who with this idea, but I feel like when you're a business person and you're going into these types of environments and they're presenting this stuff to you, I mean, we don't know what went on in the room. So I'm just looking at it as the business standpoint. Maybe it was something when they brought it to him, and however they brought it to him, he might have thought that it was a good idea, but he probably put his 2 cents in. I'm only do this if I could do X, Y, and Z.
Of course.
That's just that's just the type of mindset and the stature of his ability as a businessman is.
But at the same time, all last year we laughed at P. Diddy saying he wanted to buy what he said he called it, the South Carolina Panthers and stuff. Like, everybody made fun of P. Diddy wanting to buy the Panthers because the Panthers was up for sale. He had money to buy the Panthers, but I don't have no agree. I'm not disagreeing with the fact that Jay-Z getting his bag. Mm-hmm. I'm just disagreeing at the fact that people use our pain and our struggle, the stuff that we go through every day, to come up off of that. That's just like, that's no different than, to me, that's no different than all the NFL players going up there to go talk to Trump. That's no different than, Kanye West sitting in that room with Trump. We all said Kanye West was a pawn, and that we called Kanye West all kinds of names for doing that. But now it's Jay-Z sitting in a table with Roger Goodell, who a lot of us don't like because of, one, he played on the Saints.
Right.
And I think that people just overlook that the fact that Roger Goodell is in court right now trying to scapegoat the whole
the situation with the calls.
with the calls. So it's like, how you could sit down with somebody like that and you just told us to boycott it, don't watch it, don't do this.
Right.
And now all of a sudden it's like, no, watch it because Jay-Z. To me, it's like Jay-Z said, it don't matter if you're a broke nigga, a rich nigga, a poor nigga, ugly nigga, whatever you is, they're going to still look at you as a nigga. And it's like, to me, they looking at, they making you the face of it.
Right.
And it's like, look, he's our famous black friend. We're all cool. That's how people are looking at it. But Jay-Z and the NFL looking at it as just business. But at the end of the day, people still getting beat by the police.
Right.
People still getting killed by the police.
And that's going to always be like that.
So how is a halftime show performance going to stop that?
So, question, is it going to be, for us with the halftime show, is it going to be every game or is it just going to be...
No, it's just for Super Bowl halftime.
It's just for Super Bowl halftime.
He's just doing, he has creative
So all he's going to do is bring in...
He's going to book the talent.
Yeah, basically.
For halftime.
Say if he want Remy Ma and Nicki Minaj to go on there, they can't say no.
So you might have more ethnic halftime show.
More ethnic. I hope it just don't pertain to the black community.
But see, with him, I don't think it will, because even with like... What Tidal is like, it's not just ethnic artists that are on Tidal. He has all types of artists on Tidal.
It'll probably be a mixture.
I don't think it's just gonna be ethnic.
But you know how our people get, know, they just. But at
they
the
go
end of the day,
when they hear that, they say, "Oh Lord, these field shows about to be lit." You know, of course they're gonna be, but
at the end of the day, it's about what we stand for. What we standing for. The NFL, just because there's one nigga in there and one nigga get to pick halftime shows, that don't change the fact that black men in NFL get the most shit with them. You know what I'm saying? Let's change the fact that all these NFL players are abusing their wives, beating them up, and getting away with it. White NFL people definitely do this grimiest shit and get away with it. I don't want to talk about how good a halftime show gonna be. I want to actually talk about the issues within NFL that is lingering to the population of people. Right.
And that's why I said, like, I don't have a gripe with what's going on with that, but I just feel like I would like to see them, you know, have that same energy and have a meeting with Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, and like everybody
and put together an initiative with the NFL on, you know, social injustice and stuff like that. And not only that,
give that man back his job. Like, he lost his job because he was protesting his right.
But I feel like in this moment, I feel like he doesn't really want to play football
I don't
anymore.
Think he won't play.
I think he's really just focused on bringing awareness. So I feel like don't bring him on as a player. Bring him on as, you know,
a shareholder,
something,
not
like
a coach,
I said,
like
build an
team.
initiative. You know,
but you know, a lot of people were saying I'm not super saying pro-black, but I just feel like we always join. It's like we always gonna have that one person that are willing to join a organization that we don't even need to be associated with. Snoop Dogg even said it himself. We got so much money, all these black billionaires we can't buy our own teams. A lot of our stuff flourished without having to join other societies. Black Wall Street flourished without any other society. The Harlem Globetrotters was a whole basketball team outside of the NBA, and that's the reason why the Harlem Globetrotters even became a team. Not just the team, but just to have black players integrate into the system. Now I guess Jay-Z being a face of something, they're trying to say now they're going to have more black football owners. But we still missing the mark when it comes to social injustice. It don't matter how many black-owned businesses we have. It don't matter how many black people sit at the table and vouch for us. It don't matter if they already have their own initiative. They're going to do what they want to do, and there ain't shit that we could do about it. But we could talk about this all day on and off the field We could protest all we want, but it's still not going to change the fact that shit is not being done. And if we keep waiting for the future, for it to happen for the future kids, I want to live and experience.
But let's talk about this too, because you know they did an interview and he talked about how the kneeling thing was okay back then, but now let's take a different approach. Let's talk about that. Like, what are your thoughts on his comments
kneeling?
from that, like the kneeling that they were doing? He felt like that's in so many words, because I'm not gonna put words in his mouth, but in so many words, he was like, "That's old. That's over with.
Old.
Let's move on to a different approach." So what are y'all thoughts on that?
What would be the next?
I'm asking y'all. What approach do y'all think could be made?
The only approach that could be done is if every black player stopped playing football.
You know that's not gonna happen.
Exactly. So that's the only initiative they had was to kneel to prove a point. My thing is, the next thing is, if all football black athletes that feel like social injustice, you know how many, it is 85 or probably more, it's 75% black in NFL. If every black football player stopped playing football, that will hurt pockets. That will make a change. That will stop them and be like, oh, you know what? We need to take this in consideration. That maybe we need to start doing more as far as football to
do you honestly think that's gonna work?
LeBron James did it with "I Can't Breathe" T-shirts. He wore it just to prove a point, and they didn't. That was one man that didn't generated through NBA and WNBA.
But did he stop playing basketball, though?
No, he didn't stop playing basketball because he didn't. The shirts was enough.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? The shirts got them, LeBron James,
right.
let's not play with LeBron. I feel like Colin Kaepernick was not big. He big because of the situation now. But as far as
when they first started,
if it would have been Drew Brees, let's put it like that. If it would have been Drew Brees taking the knee and saying, I'm kneeling because this just messed up. America messed up. Guess what? We wouldn't be talking about Jay-Z being a part of whatchamacallit.
Right.
We all know that for a fact.
So back to what I'm saying. So you say that, what I was about to say. So them stopping playing, that you feel like that's gonna fix them, and they're gonna be like,
because
let's do this.
It's the loss of money. It's a loss of money. They're gonna start taking in consideration of the voice of the players, just like basketball did. When NBA basketball players wasn't getting their just due on a basketball thing, they had a lockout, and we did not have basketball for about a year. Certain basketball players went overseas to get their bag. Certain basketball players just stopped playing. Like, for example, when the lockout happened, Allen Iverson just went on ahead and retired. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stars just went on ahead and retired. But the majority of the basketball people, majority of the basketball franchise did not lose anything out of it. You know what I'm saying? They stopped, they proved the point, and then when they came back out of the lockout, NBA players got what they wanted. They could wear what they want. I don't think they could wear what they want. That was like I don't want to say 2010, probably right before 2017. I mean 2007, 2007, I mean. Right around that time, probably a little bit later, they had a whole NBA lockout because, from my understanding, it was about, it wasn't about racial injustice or nothing. It was about players not getting something. I forgot what. They was fed up with the NBA. And they just say, okay, we not playing. If we don't get what we want, we not playing.
Right.
And they stop playing.
But see, the difference is with that, you have a lot of them, they spoke out about it. You know, they feel like they see, you know, that it's wrong and things like that. But most of these men, they're looking at it as this is their livelihood. they can't do that because if they do that, their children, their families could possibly not eat. So this is, and I understand that. So that's why I said with them doing that, to me that wouldn't change anything because what they could do is they could go find them some more young black players, probably pay them the same thing that they was paying them and put them on that field and put them in their uniform. So that wouldn't change anything. That's whole thing that I was saying.
It's not about. It's about
so them
taking
stopping
taking
playing.
A stand
It's not going to do anything.
It's just about taking a stand for anything. Because
but see, everybody,
it's just like school teachers. If school teachers don't get what they want, they go on strike.
Most of them protest, right?
Yeah. So that's a part of protest, is what I'm saying. That's
but
what
see
the
what
NBA
that.
did.
But see,
the NFL. The NBA did the same thing. They got what they wanted. They didn't stay out for a long time. They just said, we not playing because we not getting paid how we supposed to be getting paid. We don't have our, we not getting our royalties or whatever the case may be. I'm not saying that, all right, quit your job. I'm just saying, put some fuel to the fire. If we really saying social injustice is an issue, and every black person on that team experienced some kind of racial injustice, and they could still play for an establishment that's allowing the racial injustice to continue, then what we talking about it for? Because if they not gonna stand, if all of them not gonna stand together, then we not. What we asking them to do it for? You know what I'm saying?
But see, this is my thing. You could, if they're not, stop playing.
I'm not saying just stop.
Right, because my thing is
because you could go overseas.
You could still play, but no. This is my thing.
Play.
You can still play for your NFL team, but use your voice. You can talk about it. That's my thing. What we're doing, we're talking about it.
We know for a fact that they didn't do that because they didn't do it with. How many players kneel? Many players kneel?
You had a good few. You had a good amount of them that were kneeling. Yes, they were.
Not all of
them.
That's what I'm saying.
There was even a case where a whole team kneeled during the national anthem.
I'm talking about
so we can't say that
team. I'm talking about every team.
You have to think about it.
But
they're not gonna do that.
That's my point.
They're not gonna do that.
My point is, why are we talking about it if they're not going to do it? Why are we making this an issue if they're not protesting all the way as a unit? Put it like this.
But you have, that's in all cases. Everybody doesn't protest.
And that's what I'm saying. Even with the boycott saying not watch football, we still watched it. People still watched it. So I'm like, while we're using the pain of people who actually go through this stuff as a plight to fucking say, yeah, let's use it, let's change it. Because if we change in football and we don't change the players' mind or the way they think and way some of these players talk behind the scenes, because they got white players that say N-word like freely in places. They had a player that didn't get fined for using the N-word, calling somebody a N-word on the field, and people know that. I just feel like at the end of the day, that's just, you ask my opinion about what could be the next.
No. I'm not arguing with you or trying to sway you.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, like we having
that's the only
I thought
thing
that was
you
something.
can do.
I thought that was something that should have been brought up because that was a part of that whole situation of that.
At this point, that's
know.
The only thing you could do in football is if everybody come together and be like, all right, we're not playing until we fix some stuff.
Right. I mean,
but
I just
they're not
look at
do
it.
That. That's just
they're
like,
not.
That's just like the bullying everybody in school, and you watching the bully everybody and not
because
I'm
just looking at it in the minds of those men. I'm looking at it as, I do this, I stop playing. It's easy for them to go find somebody else and bring them in and take my spot, and then I don't have a job.
But also,
so that's just I don't know.
But also, if you get injured, they'll find somebody.
Right, that's what they're gonna. So either way, they're gonna do it anyway.
Right.
So that's most of them. That's all most of those men know. So most of them are not gonna do it. They may go ahead and kneel, but they're not gonna stop playing.
But at the end of the day, kneeling to me, they ain't did nothing.
It didn't do anything.
Jay-Z being the face of the halftime show ain't doing nothing.
That's why I said it needs to be some type of meeting, and need to bring in Kaepernick, and they need to put some type of initiative in place where the players are allowed to express how they feel on social injustice issues and not be fined or not be fired for the damn thing. That's all I'm saying.
That's all we saying.
My question is, y'all think they will ever have a lockout for NFL?
It could possibly happen.
Because of
I hope it will. I hope it will because like the NBA, me being a basketball lover, I'm a more basketball lover than a football. Not being able to watch basketball for how long that was locked out, it was boring.
But something...
It was boring.
And don't quote me on it, but in the 1980s, what was it when the Olympics was boycotted?
They had
None of the athletes. The 1980 Olympics never happened. It was supposed to be in Los Angeles, I want to say. It never happened because they boycotted. I'm going to find out exactly where it was.
They didn't decide to run and do the...
No, you talking about the 1971 when your boy had put up his fist. They had two players.
No, that wasn't.
No, him. He talking about that one. That ain't the same one.
Oh, okay.
Let me see.
They had one where the two black athletes lift up their fist and the one white athlete didn't. He still got it fine. The black athletes didn't get their medals. They got their medals taken from him. And the white athlete, they thought that he was in on it. He got kind of in trouble for that too. But there's plenty of ways to show. That's what we talking about as far as being fined and being in trouble. That's what they did to Colin Kaepernick. You're not playing. But let's just also say that Colin Kaepernick was also not doing good.
Oh, it was supposed
at
to...
the end of his football career before he took that stand. When he took that stand, it was like, so you trying to. I feel like the NFL punishing him because he like, so we ain't letting you play. Now you won't do this. That's how some of them, that's how they think. It
happened in the 80s. It was a boycott led by the United States. So none of the United States athletes performed because it was it was in Moscow.
It was in Russia.
It was a protest in the late 79 for the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. So the United States athletes boycotted, and nobody from the United States represented the Olympics that year.
Russia is a communist country. So why would we go and play for in our ally country?
Right.
We not that's the whole reason why a lot of people right now are mad at Donald Trump. Because Russia is not an
ally, right.
They're not our ace boom coon. Okay?
I just hope they get his orange looking ass out of office.
My question is, okay, for as with what's that man name, the person we talking about?
We talking about Colin Kaepernick?
Yeah, him. So they actually suspended him from...
They benched him. They benched him, and then eventually they let him go. Like they didn't re-sign his contract.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So they benched him for the rest of the season, and no other team.
But that's what any player.
They had talks about other teams possibly picking him up, but eventually it didn't happen because of that.
Him.
Because they thought he was, they felt like he was a problem and he was gonna bring issues to the team.
Well, at the end of the day, I get the business side of what Jay-Z trying to do. That's his bag. I'm not trying to stop his bag, but I just wish people stop using our pain as a source to get to their bag. Because that's what I said in the beginning. What do we benefit from the NFL? A halftime show, that's all we good for? Is for him to be a part of the halftime show?
Why you can't be a part of everything?
Everything. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Why you couldn't let him be a part of everything, Roger Goodell? He just good for playing the music part? Let a nigga play the music? It's not about... What I'm looking at is back in the day, back in the day they had racial cartoons and stuff like that, and they used one black person to be the face of that. And that's what I see. I see Roger Goodell sitting down with 1 hour prominent figures, our iconic figures in our thing to get us to shut up. That's what I see. I see, we got Jay-Z for the halftime show. And they're like,
all right.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
We're going to leave it alone. Yeah, Jay-Z,
These shows about to be litty.
It's not even about just the halftime shows. It's more than that, period.
Right. And that's what we were sitting up here saying, but I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see
down
as
the line what happens.
as the world turns.
As the world turns.
If we actually start to see change, like I want to see all change. I want to see players get fired from beating their wives.
Right.
I want to see players get fired for doing drugs, not just kneeling like y'all did.
For real.
So, okay, if y'all not gonna stand for something, y'all fall for
Don't.
anything. But Lord, jeez,
It's mad.
I just had to get that off my chest, because a lot of people is really mad.
Yeah.
Like they mad because
They're mad, like,
to them, they understand like that. That's like a slap in the face. We just fucking told P. Diddy, hey, stop talking about you gonna buy a team. We ain't buying no team. We boycotting. And now it's like, oh, well, that's one more step for mankind and stuff like that. I'm like, what?
But Nelly bought a football team, and what he doing?
What team Nelly brought?
He bought the St. Louis. Somebody, one of them.
Nobody don't give a fuck about the Rams.
I'm just saying that. I'm just using as an example. I'm not saying
The Rams moved to LA. The Rams not even in St. Louis no
Yeah,
more. So he ain't
the
have
Los
enough
Angeles
money to
Rams
buy.
now.
But I was only saying because
I
he
don't
was
think-
he bought the football team. That's all I was saying.
He probably was a percentage, like
Probably so.
0.5.
Okay,
But he
gotcha.
was in no major percentage. But like I said, man, we could go on and on about this. We could talk about how Jay-Z trying to use us and all that. But we got the receipts.
Receipts.
Funk Master Flex with this tea is hot and popping. Funk Master Flex said he got the receipts. He said he got the receipts. Funk Master Flex said he confirmed that Jay-Z told Jermaine Dupri not to get involved with the NFL. So what's tea? What's tea? Spill it.
I don't have that one.
I forgot I added that one.
Baby,
I said,
I don't
you
know
put me
about
on the spot, sis.
I forgot. So
You go
let
ahead
me
and
just
hit
go
that
ahead and
one.
read. So it says, with this hot tea from Hip Hop DX, your number one source for hip hop, that's going to be our other source to be getting some stuff from. But Funk Master Flex, he confirmed Jay-Z told Jermaine Dupri not to get involved with the NFL. So, according to the recent Instagram post, the longtime Hot 97 host spoke with Jermaine Dupri and confirmed Hov told him the So Def founder getting deeply involved with the NFL would be a bad look. And this is what he said in quotation. I just got off the phone with Jermaine Dupri. He confirmed in all caps, he confirmed that when he was working with the NFL last year, he did get a call from Jay-Z asking him, how deep are you in with the NFL, expressing that might not be a good idea. So, I'm spilling some tea for y'all. The subject matter has been weighing on me for a sec. This is from Funk Master Flex. He said, I've spoken to Jermaine, Fat Joe, Nessa, P.O., and TT. My opinion is probably not what the people and I have relationship want to hear, but it's bothering me, so I need to discuss. Colin was taking an incredible, unselfish stand for bringing light to social injustice that will never be duplicated. And even though his statement was under $10 million for him and Eric, which covered mostly lawyer fees, so they only got paid $10 million. I'm not 1,000% okay that Colin accepted the deal because it feels that since the deal, Colin hasn't been as aggressive as he once was. I know I've been 1,000% better with Rock Nation as of late, so I hope I can be honest and continue our positive relationship. We will never pass. We are never past kneeling. The fear of the kneeling is what pushed the NFL to get more aggressive with unlawful tactics. Hence, is why they settled with Colin. to dismiss his efforts in front of the NFL commissioner, the one who spearheaded the Colin corruption, was an extreme slap in the face. Jay-Z is our world, and Jay-Z in our world is our Michael Jordan, decided by the people who respect, says, cherish him, his accomplishments. Watching the commissioner's body language and feeling his desperation to open the season with the strongest African American possible with credibility was obvious. If Jay-Z saw what all we saw in the press conference and Phil working for the inside while being paid just by being paid and receiving a stake in the team is the answer and can spearhead the social injustice from the inside, and he is our hero for life. But if he and the air personality / social media influence that Roc Nation manages wants to manage them, have the believe in Jay-Z, give him a chance campaign to line pockets, this will be remembered and not swept under the rug in a few months. Trust, time will tell. Just my opinion. So that was Funkmaster Flex 401k about the whole opinion, because like he said, everybody knew. I watched football and I paid attention to it. Jermaine Dupri got the same offer last year in Atlanta when the Super Bowl was in Atlanta last year, and they offered him the same deal. And if Jay-Z was bold enough to say it's not a good look now, we could always say, well, we don't think the way we think about last year, but last year not that far away. Last year was just literally 8 months ago. So 8 months ago, your mindset changed and told Jermaine Dupri not to take it, but you could go ahead and take it and nobody know why you took it.
So he could get the benefit. I'm just playing.
No, that you ain't playing. That's right. He's reaping the benefits of it. It's like saying that Jay-Z was saying, all right, we going to all play. It's like he was crossing his fingers while he was in his pocket saying, all right, we're not going to get involved with the NFL. We ain't doing that. And then 8 months later, Jay-Z sits down and says, yeah, we're going to get involved with the NFL. We're going to get a different approach. And not call nobody. You ain't called Jermaine Dupri and say, look, bro, I'm about to take this deal. Shut up. I'm about to do it. Shut up. You be with me on this one.
Maybe he should have just added him into the mix.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like I know I said, we shouldn't do this,
but I need you on this.
I need you on this.
Yeah. Let's all go sit up there. Not just go sit up there with yourself. That's why I say I can roll my ass.
Negroes.
That's why I feel some type of way about this, because last year I watched when they said when Jermaine Dupri didn't take that offer, everybody was like, yeah, Jermaine Dupri, yeah, the NFL, yeah, but I said the NFL only stands for niggas fall for the lion, and that's what that stands for.
That's a good one.
Had y'all falling for the line because he partnered up with the NFL. Like I said, what make Jay-Z any different from?
There's no difference. He should get the same flag just like everybody else.
But so many people are like, yeah, we gotta change. But
they have a lot of people
got a lot of people mad, but
mad
there's
at him.
A lot of people that was like, oh my God, we're gonna have Cardi B for the halftime show.
Like, I've been saying nothing but just backlash by it. Like, I haven't really seen no positives about it. I've been seeing a lot of people just fucking angry at him for.
I've been seeing both. A lot of celebrities come in defense.
That's what them niggas do.
That's what I'm saying. The same people who was talking about, after NFL, like Killer Mike, all of
now
they
gonna have people looking at my fucking girl thinking she using her blackness for clout.
But that's what a lot of people are starting to look at, because Cardi B was like, let me put it in her voice. I think what Jay-Z is doing is gonna be a good look for the NFL.
I can't stand her.
That's what I said. I think that what Jay-Z is doing is a good thing for the NFL. Like, for real. That's what everybody's saying.
Of course, they are going to side with Jay-Z because of he is Jay-Z. They're not going to speak no bad ill towards Jay-Z.
I'm speaking bad ill. Jay-Z, until you put some money in my pocket and what's the word? We got issues.
So do
what's
y'all
good?
think...
What's
so
good?
did y'all do
what's
your,
good?
So did y'all think that they offer him a more money than...
Of course they did.
Jay-Z owned basketball teams. He sold it. He's going to be the first nigga to infiltrate and be an owner. But you think you know what?
Well, my question is, why would you try to stop somebody else from getting their bag and then you try to...
That's what niggas do.
That's what they do. That's what they do. So until Jay-Z stop providing funds for what's the word, then I'm going to stop talking. But until he stop providing words for what's the word and giving me a check for what's the word and putting what's the word on title, we ain't got nothing to talk about, Jay-Z.
Period.
Nada. Period. But moving right along, on to some more positiveness. So what's going on with Big Sean?
Ooh.
Big Sean gives 1,000K for a recording studio.
Big is you.
Yes.
So it's always good when a celebrity puts their money where their mouth is, and Big Sean
Unlike other people who remain nameless.
Baby, look, don't.
Oh.
And Big Sean is the latest to do it in a very big way, with the Detroit youth reaping the benefits, as reported by The Guru. Detroit's own Big Sean is giving back to the community that raised him by donating a state-of-the-art recording studio to the local Boys and Girls Club worth a whopping $100,000. During a recent performance at his second annual Detroit's On Now weekend, Big Sean revealed the new music studio at the Boys and Girls Club. After launching his Sean Anderson Foundation back in 2012, his continuous funding allowed the $100,000 newly remodeled recording facility to become a reality. The Sean Anderson Foundation Content and Production Studio will be accessible to both students and adults. He also did a similar deed when he opened a fully equipped music studio in 2015 at his alma mater, Detroit's Acast Tech. The west side of Detroit is my old neighborhood, says Big Sean. It's a full circle moment when your neighborhood supports you and holds you high, and you're in a position to be able to hold it up in your own way to take it further. We're sure the young people of Detroit are more than grateful for the generosity that one of their hometown heroes has shown them. Good job, Big Sean. What do you guys have on this? What are your thoughts on this?
Well, I feel like Big Sean is doing a positive thing for his community. He's a recording artist, and for him starting off young in the industry and growing up, I think it's a good thing he's giving back to the community to open up a recording studio for the young people that's trying to get in the music industry.
You know, I always like, I was about to say something so inappropriate. I was about to say big, you know what, Sean. I'm just so happy that people are using their platform to provide things for kids, because kids are our future, and a lot of these kids out here want to be artists and want to be rap artists, especially in Detroit, where it's little to nothing there. I mean, every other house is vacant out there. Like, if it ain't, it's just bad out there in Detroit. And it's like, now he's bringing back something to his community, unlike some people do, and just have the kids to be able, I'm not just talking about sending a couple of kids to college. I'm talking about creating a program so all kids can benefit. Like, more of that should be done in a community, especially when you come from the west side of Detroit and you know how the west side of Detroit is. That's just like me from being from east side New Orleans. and not coming back to do anything for my community, I'll be a coon if I didn't come back and help a community that is still being affected by Hurricane Katrina. So shout out to Big Sean for that. He's definitely an artist that definitely cares about the kids. As you can see, Big Sean love the kids. Big Sean love the kids. But like I said, we could go on and on about Big Sean. Shout out to Big. But in more news, the NYPD officer involved in Eric Garner's shooting death is officially fired. After how many years? He should have been fired, but go ahead.
Daniel P., the officer responsible for placing Eric Garner in a chokehold and eventually causing his death back in 2014, has officially been fired from the New York Police Department. According to NBC News, the administrative judge recommended that Daniel be terminated for the 2014 confrontation that he led to Eric Garner's passing. As many of you know, he was being arrested for selling loose, untaxed cigarettes in Staten Island and placed in a chokehold that eventually led to his death. Daniel had been a part of the NYPD since 2006 and was suspended as soon as the departmental verdict was reached. He was on desk duty and was still collecting a check while his case made its way through the legal system. As we previously reported, Daniel did not face federal charges for his actions. One day before the 5-year anniversary, federal prosecutors in Brooklyn informed the Gardner family not to charge Daniel. First Deputy Commissioner Benjamin Tucker accepted the judge's ruling that Daniel should be fired. Tucker reportedly found no new findings to reserve the judge's decision to terminate Daniel. According to CNN, Eric Garner's daughter, Emerald Gardner, spoke with the press and said, I don't even want to see another video of a person being choked out because it wasn't supposed to happen to him. It's not supposed to happen. I should not be here standing with my brother. Fatherless, I should be standing here with my father. But Daniel took that away from me on July 17th. Yes, he's fired, but the fight is not over. We will continue to fight, says Emerald Gardner.
And it took him how long to be fired? That's my whole point.
5 years.
So 5 years it took for this man to be fired when he should have been fired 5 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Him being fired now is just a slap in the face of just showing people like, okay, to me that just shows like, okay, we knew he effed up, so now we have no other choice but to fire. And I'm like, man, at the end of the day, y'all found them not guilty for killing him. So why fire him?
Right.
Why you fired him? You had to have a reason to fire him.
It just goes to show, you know, that our lives don't matter. They don't matter at all. It's like you wait literally 5 years when you had all the evidence right there 5 years ago to fire this
footage,
man.
Everything.
And you put him on desk duty. He's still collecting the check. And then 5 years later, you fire him when y'all could have been did that. Like, it's
After
just, it's
they
ridiculous.
was found not guilty.
It's ridiculous.
So my thing is, why you fired him then?
You could have just kept his job.
He could have kept his job.
But meanwhile, you're out here making examples out of black men for mishandling situations as far as just anything. And now they could be facing jail time when they're out here making positive
steps to
yes. I'm so glad. Thank you for catching that for me. Making positive things happen out here, you know, for our youth and for our preteens and for our upcoming adults. So it's just fucked up, bro. It's like, it's just horrible. It's horrible.
But at the end of the day, like, to me, that's just, let him keep his job. He let him keep it 5 years ago. Just let him keep working because it just show how the NYPD
keep his raggedy ass on this fucking duty and free all the trade out of jail.
All the trades out of jail.
Period.
fool.
But moving on to some more positive, because we go from mess to positive, from mess to
I'm waiting for
positive.
that new subject to come
So,
up.
positive image: Georgia teen beats out 200,000. I thought it was 500,000. Look at me. She beat out 500,000 people. 200,000 entries and earned 30,000 in scholarship for her Google Doodle contest. If y'all didn't get a chance to see it, because I be on Google a lot, I actually got to see the image. It's the
I didn't
image
see
of,
that one.
It's a painting that,
And I'm always on Google.
and it's a doodle. If you want to see, it's a doodle, and it said Google, and one of the O's is a picture of an older lady holding a baby, and outside of that picture is the older lady, I guess,
with the daughter.
with the young baby grown
older.
up wearing the same thing.
Wow.
And when I saw that, I was like, damn.
So a local Georgia teen is Black Girl Magic and Black Excellence all rolled up into one, and she managed to do that by soaring high above all others for an annual Google contest by honoring her mother. So I will not butcher this girl's name, so bear with me. It is Anta. Ooh. Y'all got to help me out with this one.
She must be from Africa.
Anta, girl.
Antaliza Penina Popo.
Popo of Lithuania. Girl, what? Girl, you know what? This young woman
Georgia.
from Georgia and recent valedictorian of Arabian Mountain High School in DeKalb County. All right, sister.
Arabian Mountain High School in DeKalb, Georgia.
Beat out a whopping 200,000 entries. Listen to this. 200,000 entries. She beat out 200,000 entries in order to be selected as Google's 2019 Doodle for Google winner. The most touching part of her impressive accomplishment is that her design honors her mother. As reported by @CNET, Popo's doodle is titled "Once You Get It, Give Back." In response to this year's theme of "When I Grow Up, I Hope," she said she quickly realized that her mother was the perfect representation to bring her design to life. Her doodle is a touching creation that shows her and her mother in front of a portrait of the pair at much younger ages. Popo explains as a framed picture of her mother carrying me as a baby, a real picture in my house, and below the picture is me caring for her when she's older in the future. Popo, who's had a love for art since she was a child, admits that she came up with the decision to honor her in her Google submission at the last minute. A direct quote from the child: "I came up with the idea at the last minute. Actually, the day of the deadline, I looked at the photograph of my mother, the real version that inspired the drawing, and thought, hey, why don't I reverse it? I wanted to focus more on a message to help out my awesome mother more than anything else." She was announced as the winner on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon earlier this week. While her doodle will be on display today,
Which
was displayed on August 13th for 24 hours. However, the biggest part of such a whirlwind experience is that Popo also received a scholarship worth $30,000 and a trip to Google's headquarters in Mountain View, California. We want to send out a huge congratulations to this talented young lady and a beautiful design.
It is. That's why I put this as a part of like showing homage to her, because when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, that is so cute. And I think you get to play it too. You get to play it, but if you didn't get a chance to see it, you missed out. But you get to play the animation on Google and whatnot. But it was a cute little drawing. It was a good representation. And not to mention, she ain't got to pay for college at all no more.
At all.
Period.
And then, right. She
Like,
was
that's
she was the valedictorian of her class. I'm sure she has millions of dollars in scholarships.
But just to get that on top of that, girl,
Right.
spend that money.
That's just
spend
the
that money
icing on the
Moan.
cake.
Spend that money on Moon, because you're going to need it with your little financial aid and stuff you go to.
And we are so sorry that we pronounced your name wrong, but we
If
just could not get it,
we
sister.
Just can't. You got one of them names. You got one of them names, but shout out to her. But this is the
moving on to the high pipe and tea.
This is the tea.
Ooh,
This is the tea.
City bop.
This is the tea. So Nicki Minaj speaks out on Rick Ross' Apple of My Eye record. Was good.
Girl, so this is 2 parts. So
Because recently Rick Ross responded to the response right after it.
I gotta flip my hair on this one.
So what's good?
So, it's been a while since we've heard any new music from Nicki Minaj, and sis is finally back. Nicki sat down with Beats One Radio for an exclusive interview and spilled a lot of tea. Capital T-E-A. Nicki said she took a step back from social media because she needed to focus on her album. She said she wanted to make sure she was writing something that was meaningful and wanted to have fun again. She also spilled some tea that she'll be releasing a documentary with her album, but the documentary will be on Apple Music exclusively. Sorry, I don't have a subscription to that.
You was low down for that, Nicki, because a lot of people don't have Apple Music.
But let's get straight to the TEA. Sis spilled all the tea when the topic of motorsport came up. This is coming back up. She said she felt ambushed by motorsport because people assumed she was lying about how the track and video came out. They made her the bad guy for not being able to film on the same day as Cardi B. She mentioned that since she and Cardi share the same hairstylist, Tokyo Styles, he could verify that he was booked and couldn't do her hair that day. Nicki said the only thing that hurt her about Cardi was her interview she did after Motorsport. Nicki gave props to Cardi for doing her thing, but said that she was hurt by her first interview she did after Motorsport. She also gave props to Cash Doll, Asian Doll, and Malibu Mitch. So that was part 1.
All hot female artists, by the way.
So here is part 2. Rick
Part
Ross
2
responds to Nicki Minaj's comments.
What's good, Nicki?
Which he looks
what you talking about,
so
Nicki?
good, but he's still not my type. But he looked really good since he done lost all the weight. So Nicki Minaj has been very vocal about her qualms with some of the men in the industry. Most recently, she pulled up on Joe Bundy's podcast and comments about an old Rick Ross track where her name is mentioned. Ross' 2017 track, Apple of My Eye, seems to take shots at Nicki after Ross said, I told Meek I wouldn't trust Nicki instead of beefing with your dog. You just gave him some distance. Well, it's safe to say the queen did not take kindly to the line and had something to get off her chest. Can you wait till I finish?
He said, I told Meek not to trust Nicki. Instead of beefing with your dog, just give him some distance. Okay, continue.
Damn. As we previously reported, Nicki says she went...
Use the voice.
No, that's your job. I'm just here to report it. As we previously reported, Nicki says she went to a meeting with President Obama where Ross was present, and Ross called her a keeper, quote unquote, in reference to her support for Meek Mills. And then you come out on a weak-ass album.
And then you come out on a weak-ass album and try to disrespect Nicki Minaj?
You want to do the...
you got to do it in Kentucky.
No, I'm not doing that like that. You're not gonna tell me how to do the fucking T, bitch. You didn't did that part already.
No, she said, and
Go
then you
ahead.
want to come out with a weak-ass album and try to disrespect Nicki Minaj? She says, boy, sit your fat ass down. That's what she said.
In an interview with The Breakfast Club, Rick Ross speaks on everything from the music to hustling and some of the beef he's encountered in the industry as well. This includes the most recent comments from Nicki in a very unclear back and forth. The two rappers seem to be scrapping about a fallout between Ross and possibly Drake. Ross says he believes Nicki brought the bad blood to life, and anybody who believes otherwise is lying. Ross maintains his statement about Nicki being a keeper, and when asked about it by DJ Envy, his response directly indicates some laughter.
If somebody went to me with Obama and with you, she's a keeper until you find out otherwise.
Ross says
she was around me a few times and she was a huge talent, but she was playing a very important position at the time. She was in between Meek and Drake at the time.
Ross continues and seems to reference some sort of beef between him and Pumlessly Drizzy. He says things went sour and she is the prime suspect in the case. Most definitely, when I see it go too sour, it would be easy to assume she may have had something to do with that. He says, and if somebody tells you they didn't, they lying. As of now, it looks like the beef could still be brewing, but stay with us for all the tea when it drops.
So here's my 401k about the whole Rick Ross and all that. That comes with the feel of hip hop. Beefs get created. It don't have no gender between it. Like I said, a lot of people, I have inside information, but I'm not gonna spill it, because it's old and it don't mean y'all want me to spill it? Y'all want me to spill
Sure.
it?
Go ahead, fuck you didn't. I hate when people do that. Talking about I got tea.
A lot of people be saying, you know me and Nicki got beef. Y'all know me and Nicki got beef.
When y'all got beef?
We been having beef.
Oh, y'all been having beef?
Since day one.
Oh, okay.
But I don't never agree with Nicki, but I'm going to have to agree. Because Rick Ross was that person that said she a keeper. She was that person that was like, oh, she talked the first thing they ever talked about was when she went in a meeting with Obama was about Meek Mill and his situation. You know what I'm saying? Whatever bad blood happened between Meek Mill and Nicki Minaj was between Nicki Minaj and Meek Mill. Not Nicki Minaj, Meek Mill, Rick Ross. It shouldn't even been said because any real man wouldn't even be talking about a female and a female situation between her and her man in their own music. That's what men be messy in their lyrics more than women.
Men are way messier than women.
Way messier. So to be honest, Rick Ross, you started it by saying it in your 2017 Apple My album. You didn't really have to say what you said about her. So you lit the flame to the fire that already was sizzling and had then died down. If Meek Mill didn't come out and say F Nicki Minaj, and I'm pretty sure he feel that way, what made it your place to come and diss Nicki on a record about her man and their troubles and stuff like that? Because Insider tell it, Nicki Minaj was always around with Meek. Even when Meek was in New York, Nicki was there. Because I know. I got my sources. I know for a fact, from my personal source, that Nicki was always around and supporting. So whatever happened between her and Meek Mill, it was a fling. That was a fling, and it just burnt out like everything. You know what I'm saying? Even her fling with Nas, it was just a fling. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, know your place and leave some people business out, because if you don't mind the business that pay you, then we got a problem. So what's good, Rick Ross? Sit your fat ass down, like she said.
Okay, I have a question. My question is, I understand all that about the situation with her and Rick Ross, but my thing is, what the beef is, why is she starting back the beef with
The beef got started because she took a break from social media and didn't respond to a lot of the stuff that was going on because she was worried about her and her bag. And so when she got finished with the album and now she got back on her Queen's Talk Radio and with the talking about it, she just went off and checked everybody. Just like she checked Joe Budden, she checking Rick Ross about it because at the end of the day, men are manipulative like a motherfucker, and a lot of the stuff that they say, they try to use facts to mask their personal opinion.
Okay, so next question. What about when she's something towards ludicrous about Shauna? Y'all seen something about that?
No, never heard
Spill
of
it.
that. Go ahead, spill it.
How you gonna ask a question and then tell us?
No,
like,
my question was, why is she going back beefing with the people going back beefing
She
with?
just said, like, she responded to everybody that been coming at her.
Everything. Everybody. She coming for everybody. And I don't necessarily agree with her sometimes, but
No, I'm talking about like
I know I
with
don't.
Cardi B and all, like she beefing back with Cardi.
she always was beefing
me,
with Cardi,
no,
but
I
she
think
never
that-
really got to
I
say
think
how
that
she felt.
I think that stuff is kind of like died down. Really, I don't think those two
her
are
and Cardi,
really.
they not cool, but they not talking.
They came to an amends, but they're not cool. They just.
They're just leaving it.
If
as
they probably
it
see each
is.
other at the wash
They
your
might
hair,
see
girl.
each
You
other.
cute. I like your hair. I like
They
your shoes.
might not even say
I like
that,
your
'cause
dress.
Nicki not gonna
On the
show up.
show, I was looking at on the show, the Joe Budden the Joe Budden show, and I was reading the comments about, far as what people were saying, and some people saying negative stuff, and some people saying positive
Like,
stuff.
what's the negative?
Like the negative, they were saying she mad because about Sheeta. What that Sheeta? I think that's the name of the song. The song that Remy Ma came out, but my thing is,
Oh,
now,
Sheeta? That's old.
I know, but I'm just reading the comments.
Of course she's still mad about
And then
that.
on top of that, but Remy Ma she's more mature now, so she's not entertaining what's going on between Nicki Minaj. I guess she's not.
Nicki Minaj?
Yeah, Nicki Minaj. I'm sorry.
Nicki
Let me
Minaj.
get
All
it
right,
correct.
Nicki Minaj.
Let me get it corrected. Nicki Minaj. I'm trying to pull up the.
But it's mostly her voicing her 401k
Right.
about people who've been running their mouth about her and still running their mouth about Nicki. Nicki just using her own platform to get back at these people that's been going on. Nicki Minaj rampages. Like, they just been going for the girl, and the girl ain't even been saying nothing.
Okay, I found something where he's saying, okay, Remy Ma understands why Nicki Minaj confronted Joe. It says, Remy Ma and Nicki Minaj are not friends, but this is no secret. Merely 2 years removed from their feud on wax with Sheeta, and no frauds making the bulk of the ammunition. Both Remy and Nicki Minaj appear to have moved on from one another. That's not to say old wounds have healed. Only that be able to attest to that. Given that both women have since moved into the world of media broadcast, a return to the subject, at least to an extent, feels. What's the word? I can't pronounce the word. I'm sorry.
Where you at? At least to an extent feels inevitable. Such as indeed the case of the last State of the Culture episode, which found Remy, Joe Budden, Jinx in discussing Nicki and Joe's recent confirmation. If Remy is harboring even the slightest grudge towards her old foe, it's nearly impossible to tell. As she tells it, Remy actually understood some Nicki's position. I got some of the things she was saying, explained Remy. No, let me put in my Remy character voice.
It's that her.
I got some of the things she was saying, explains Remy, because I know how it feels to feel that people that were supposed to be your friends, people who you thought was cool, with you, and then they say some left field shit, you be like, damn, I thought we was alright. It's upsetting. It makes you angry. It makes you want to come for them. And I know how that feels. That's what Remy said. So Jinx feels Nicki Minaj approach was more calculated and that she meant to step to Joe as proof that she's not the one that to be trifled with. He also suggested that Nicki is positioning herself to eventually transition into media market and allow Joe himself, I think at some point, she will figure out how to further her career or dedicate more time to the field as opposed to rap, music. Joe Remy wonder if that what Nicki actually wants, but Joe already seems convinced. Check out the full segment below. So yeah, Joe Budden got his ass told off.
And she had some insights. She had some recordings of. She actually had some recordings of. She actually had some recording of what Joe, when Joe had said what he said about Nicki Minaj before in the segment of the podcast.
Oh yeah, Joe got checked. And Nicki came with the receipts and replayed the audio, and he said exactly what she said, and she was like, "So what's good?"
Girl, a mess.
We'll give y'all more and more about this as it goes on, because Nicki ain't finished with everybody yet. She might be calling me next, and then I'm gonna have to come on my show and go back and forth with her.
And she's also actually beefing with Charlamagne too.
Oh yeah,
She just it's Nicki Minaj versus the world right now, baby.
I'm gonna need Nicki Minaj to get us together.
But this was another great episode. I have to say,
I really did
a
enjoy
great
this
topic.
episode.
Anthony, thank you for joining us
You're welcome.
for this episode. Thank you guys for tuning in with us.
Shout out to everybody. Shout out to all the trades out there. Shout out to everybody that's supporting us all the time. Shout out to Sideburns, everybody.
Right.
D.Jon doing the show. Shout out.
Right. Just thank you to everybody that tunes in with us, listen to us every week, bringing y'all nothing but what's the word? This was a good first run with what this is the last episode. We're gonna take a little break. Yeah, so we're gonna take a break. This was the end of our first half of What's the Word, but of course we will be back. We won't be gone for too long. We're gonna be bringing y'all more popping news, more hot topics, more great discussions. So we hope you guys tune in with us. If you are a local artist and want your music to be featured on What's the Word, all you have to do is shoot it to our email at
what's the word 504@gmail.com.
And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Yo What's the Word,
And
Facebook
at Yo What's the Word. You're me.
and you can listen to all 10 of our episodes on Anchor.fm. If you can find the app in your Google Play or your Apple Music, not Apple Music, but your app stores on your iPhones. Download that, search What's the Word, and listen to our shows. There's some great shows, and we hope you guys enjoy. So you want to shout? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry, Anthony.
I
Go
want to shout out
ahead.
to you guys for having me on this episode. I really enjoyed myself today. Shout out to Kiss D.Jon and shout out to D.Jon.
As always, Nicki, what's good? We out of here.
Peace and love.